I'm going to bring in like celery and cucumbers. I'm going to sneak it in
So
the old school
boring.
way.
So boring. Get the popcorn, put the extra butter on.
No, get out of here, man.
Very much on topic with what we're talking about today. We're talking about saving money, and there you are. You're trying not to buy that $14 box of popcorn.
That's your hosts, Dylan Weissman and Mike Langser.
All right, episode 157, Mastering Mitzvahs. That's Mike, I'm Dylan. Although you may not recognize Mike because, God, you look good.
Trying to catch up to you, brother.
Man, what is it, like almost like 1,000 pounds you lost?
Come on, I wasn't that big.
No.
50 pounds. I'm down 50 pounds.
My goodness, that's impressive, man.
In 6 months, too.
You have a lot to be proud of there.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. That's right. So we're going to save some money today. I think this is an exceptionally relevant podcast topic, and I think it's an important one. So we've been doing this a long time. Collectively, you know, it's over how many years between the two of us?
Entertaining?
Yeah, or in the industry in general.
I mean, combined probably 35 years
or
so.
Or there's enough behind here where we've seen a lot of great ways to save money.
And a lot of great ways that people waste money. Like tons of money is wasted in this industry.
So I guess you can kind of look at it in both perspectives. If you don't do the wasteful things, you've essentially saved money. And if you do the things that are saving you money, well, then you've also saved money. So my favorite real quick one that I've seen that, especially when done right, is really cool, is just reimagining your celebration to a Friday or a Sunday. Now, bar and bat mitzvahs, maybe not so much on a Friday because of the religious aspect of it, but I've done some Sunday bar and bat mitzvahs this season that have been really, really good.
I've been seeing a lot of them on Friday nights. Let's face it, a lot of the clients that are hiring us aren't super religious, and they're opting for a Friday night. So why not?
So the vendors in general, I mean, I know that we do it, but the majority of the vendors, their primary date is Saturday. So because of that, you end up finding yourself up against a lot of competition. There's not a lot of supply there, and the demand's real high. But if you go with a Friday or a Sunday, you'll find yourself where these vendors are available, and they'll cut you the deal.
Yeah. So this whole episode today is going to be all about how to save money. And let's face it, we went to our good friend, ChatGPT. And here's what I typed in. And then let's kind of go down the list because I think some of these are really valid. And some of these need some caressing to be solid. But I asked ChatGPT, how can a family in New Jersey or Pennsylvania save money when planning a bar bat mitzvah, but keep it upscale and certainly not make it look cheesy? And I think it has, let's see, it has 10 answers. So let's go down the first. You already said off-peak date. That was number 3. Number 3, it says choose Fridays or Sundays.
Well, additionally, off-peak dates in the Northeast corridor where we're centered, you also have the dead of winter. So your January, February, March are often off-peak for a lot. And then I know it's not ideal, but you could have the middle of July where most people don't really have bar and bat mitzvahs.
Yeah, you know, some of my favorite parties have actually been the last week in August. Mm-hmm. And it's because it's actually the first party of the season. You know, the season technically starts like when school starts back in September. But one of my favorite parties, and we talked about it, you know, multiple times, was the one at Asbury Lanes that we had this past August. And it was my first party of the season last year, and it was awesome.
Yeah, well, it's a good point because it's either the first for these kids, so they're brand new, or it's the last, but they had all summer to not go to bar and bat mitzvahs, where it's like one last hurrah, and, you know, you see that in that vibe.
Right, and I was just looking at an event that was assigned to me a few minutes ago, and it's this year, August 29th.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. That party is going to be awesome. I know the family already. It's going to be so awesome. So let's go in chronological order with what ChatGPT says. The first thing is prioritize what matters most to you. And I think we did a whole podcast episode on that, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So ChatGPT is saying, you know, top tier entertainment or venue. Pick one to splurge on and scale back on the other.
So it's basically just giving it time to figure out what's the most important for you and make that the centerpiece of it. If it's a beautiful, beautiful venue, then you might have to scale back on other things. Or if it's high-end entertainment or incredibly, you know, luxurious photography, what is it that matters the most? Decide that now and then be ready to cut back on the other things.
Yeah.
But I think when you prioritize, you also have to think about the end result. What is the end result that you really want? Because sometimes when you scale back on some of those items, it negatively impacts the others.
Yeah, in fact, I am going to go out of order here, but like one of the things it says, number 6 is cut the paper, go digital. So like maybe you scale back on your invitations. That might not be a memorable or important item to you or your family or the invited guests.
I mean, I have seen that more often than not. I mean, we just did Noah's 5th birthday party invitations, and they're all digital.
She's 5 years old already?
She's gonna be 5.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. She'll be dancing here soon.
No, nope. I'm keeping her far away from this industry.
All right, number 2 on this list is limit your guest count or guest list. I think that is probably the best cost savings tip that we could give.
Yeah.
There's no need to invite the extended guests, whether it's coworkers, old college friends of the parents, there becomes a popularity thing with the kids too. Some of these parties, they're inviting 100+ kids. I don't know, scale back.
Okay, I just had a meeting this week with Jamie and a potential family that wants to book us. And they said something that was so cool. They said, if my daughter wants to invite you, then they have to be the type of person who, if I saw you at Costco, we would go up and start conversation as opposed to avoid you.
Mm-hmm.
And if my daughter can't do that, then you're not invited. So it's not only like we as parents, but also the guest of honor. If we are at Costco and my daughter sees you, are they going to come up and say hi to you, or are they going to avoid you? Or are they going to even know who you are?
Yeah. And let's face it, when you scale back on when you scale back on guest count, it will determine what venue you choose, because some venues have minimum guest counts of 150, 200, 250,
Yeah.
especially on peak dates. These things all are interweaved.
Yeah, so if you drop your guest count, it drops the need for a bigger venue. It also drops the need for maybe more motivators, and on our side for the entertainment, the whole thing comes down in scale. So
Centerpieces, every table needs a centerpiece. Let's say a centerpiece is, I'm guessing $300-400. Well, for every 2 or 3 tables that you don't have, you're going to save another $600,000 to $800,000.
yeah, that's exactly right. What's next?
Next is consider unique, non-traditional venues. That kind of also plays in with what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you could, the whole idea behind mobile entertainment in general is, can you take something that's supposed to be permanent and move it somewhere different? And if you take that exact logic and bring it to the venue side, you find yourself doing events at bowling alleys that have never really done it before. You find yourself doing it at the sports zones. You find yourself doing it at a barn, like we talked about before. That ends up becoming the reality.
Yeah, and unique venue also often can mean unique decor and unique food menu, and that changes your whole pricing perspective too. Like some of the more memorable parties we've done have had tailgate style food because it's at a sporting venue. It just makes sense.
Yeah, chicken fingers and French fries are a lot less expensive than your filet or whatever.
Think about the party at Topgolf that we talk about often. It would have been weird to sit down at Topgolf and eat filet mignon and have this multi-course served meal, but it was so fun to just have an informal, casual buffet, and it just felt right.
Mike, you're a former banquet manager. Do you find that per person it's cheaper on a buffet or a plated meal?
There's a misconception that buffets are often cheaper. Plated meals are typically cheaper, actually. There's a lot less waste. But it always comes down to food choice. You could do a buffet with a carving station with Chateaubriand. That's going to be way more expensive than just a served roast beef dinner. So it depends on food choice and quantity. Okay. But typically served meals have less waste. So if you're concerned with waste, you're ordering X number of plates with the exact same food. There's less waste. It's more efficient.
Okay.
But it does require more servers.
Okay. Just ask. I guess just ask.
Yeah. And actually, some venues are really good with served food and not good with buffets, and some are the other way around. Find out the strength of the venue that you're booking and work with their strength. If they say, no, we really are great with served meals, we're not great with, don't try to twist them into something that they're not good with. Either pick a venue that does what you want or adhere to what they're best at.
Yeah.
That's like booking a seafood restaurant but not getting seafood, for your meal. All right, next on the list, number 5 on this list is simplify with decor and impact. Instead of filling the room with florals and linens, go for statement pieces. One amazing photo op wall, or a bold lighting design, or branded visuals like a logo, gobo, or digital display.
Yeah, so I mean, what that's really talking about is what's the most expensive aspect of decor. In my experience, has always been like live floral. It's just more expensive than anything else. So if you scale it all back and you put yourself in a position where the statement pieces are big pictures of your kid, or maybe it's, I'll tell you, one of my favorite ones that I've ever seen was a baseball themed event, but it was the tables were all the jerseys from the kids baseball career up until that point. So we had T-ball on one table, and we had, the club team, and then we had the travel team, and then there was the home and the away jersey version of it. That cost them very little because they're supplying the jersey for the piece.
So, this is not an episode about waste, but I think we keep coming back to waste. There is a lot of waste in the mitzvah planning world, and there's a lot of personalization and customization. All these big printed one-off things that get used just for your party and then thrown out afterwards are a big cost. I say find a theme that you can rent pieces. There are plenty of Facebook groups where people are reselling their centerpieces or reselling their props. Yep. There's rental houses that rent out these things. So, right now the big trend is to brand these parties with a custom slogan that matches the guest of honor's name, initials, but all that stuff you have to create. You have to hire a designer, a graphic designer. They have to make it. Then there's probably a ton of revisions. Then you're printing everything. You're printing the swag. You're printing the banners. You're printing custom centerpieces. Like you said, wouldn't it be easier to use a baseball mitt that can be used for 3 or 4 more parties, or reused for 3 or 4 more parties, rather than a custom logoed item?
Yep. I mean, I don't know how some families feel about it, but there are some venues where you supply all of the alcohol to the bar. Well, if it's not open, you get to return it. So there's some cost savings there. I wonder if there's a way to utilize certain aspects of your decor elements that you'd then be able to return in good condition.
Probably is. I've seen people wear suits with tags on it and bring them back. That's not very kosher, but it works, right? All right, next on this list. This is one that I think I object to, actually. So I think this is going to raise a pinpoint. But it says hire up-and-coming talent rather than those that are experienced.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to save money if you hire someone who's trying to cut their teeth, but do you really want to be the event that they're cutting their teeth on?
Yeah, I mean, so the description in this bullet says, book DJs, dancers, photographers, or videographers who are part of a trusted team, but not on the highest tier. And I could probably agree to that if there's a strong backing, but look at the party as a whole. Do you want to trust with somebody less experienced? Maybe if it's a smaller party, the term sock hop comes back once in a while, and it's sock hop or record hop, where it's an informal kids party. That's a great opportunity for an upcoming talent to play with the kids, have a good time.
Some entertainment companies that I know of tier their talent, so they're more experienced, more requested MCs are more expensive, and then their newer, less experienced guys are going to be less expensive.
Mm-hmm. The next item on this list that also I'm not in love with, bundled services. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. The bullet here says, work with a single company that can provide your DJ talent, lighting, games, photo booths, photography, videography.
I think that comes with the asterisk of, do they do that stuff already?
Yes.
In which case, totally.
Yes.
Totally. The more, and it also provides you a little bit of peace of mind as well, because now you only have one company that you can really talk to, as opposed to trying to manage a bunch of different companies. So that kind of is a win-win, but they have to be able to do it. They actually need to have a proven product in all of those aspects you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good point. Make sure that they're not outsourcing all of these services. Yeah, that's what that comes down to. Number 9 on this list is repurpose items. We just talked about that, so I think we can skip over it unless you have something to add.
Nope.
And number 10, smart party favors. Skip the high-cost swag bags and go for one high-impact, useful branded item. Hoodies, hats, water bottles that doubles as a keepsake. I mean, we can't preach that enough.
Yeah, I mean, we had a whole podcast about how aggressive swag has been, and I mean, if you look at it as a whole, I mean, I think that there are families who are spending multiple thousands of dollars on printed items and things to give away, and it's one of those things where it's think about what's important to your celebration, and is every kid getting all of these different things important to you? or not. I mean, if the goal is to have every kid walk into school on Monday with something of that brand, well, okay, then get something that's really good to rewear. I know that kids love the sweatshirts that they get to wear again, but if you do sweatshirts and t-shirts and hats and socks and water bottles, think about your kid. Is your kid going to actually take all that home and then reuse it every single time?
Right.
And if the answer is no, then why are you spending the money on it?
Yeah.
Why are you spending the? Because I mean, I know as a parent, if you spent money on something, and then it came back to my house that my kid then now doesn't use, it's clutter on my side. That's a lose-lose.
Yeah. So those are 10 items. Just going off script for a quick second here, not looking at ChatGPT. I think there's some items not to skimp on, and it is. We always say hiring the right vendors. I was gonna say, do you or do you not need an event planner? And I think that's a whole podcast topic in itself. But the answer is, in a lot of cases, yes. If you're booking something non-traditional and you don't have the time to DIY it, that is not a place to skimp. But I will say, if you hire the right team, if you trust the vendors, if you book a venue that does this regularly, that might be a place that you could save. It just depends on your own ability to DIY and to, schlep the things back and forth. And, how many hours a week can you devote into the planning?
There's an idea in service where there's like a triangle of the three different things that can be a part of your decision-making process. Is it good? Is it cheap? Or is it fast? And you can only have two of them. So if it's good and fast, it's not going to be cheap.
Right.
Right? If it's good and cheap, it's probably not going to be fast. If it's fast and cheap, then it might not be good. So by picking what two you want, it kind of serves that purpose. Like if you have a lot of time to dedicate it, maybe then you could get away without using a decorator. You go and you make your own centerpieces. My mom did that, but she's a crafty person. For my bar mitzvah and my brother's bar mitzvah, she made the centerpieces.
I like it.
So I know that she saved money there, and she was able to then utilize the money to do something else. So,
Shout out to Randy. Nice job.
she did it for both kids.
That's impressive.
I couldn't be me. I don't have that. I don't have that creative brain.
So anyway, today's episode was all about saving some money. It's very easy to get out of hand in the bar and bat mitzvah planning. We encourage you to spend wisely, but don't be frugal with it. This is the best day of your life, the best day of your kid's life. Make it memorable. Make it exciting. Do you have anything to add?
It's an investment. When you look at your dollars put into this celebration, it's an investment. Are you going to get the reciprocation back? Are you going to get the profit on that investment back? And that's going to come in the form of your memories, your feelings about it, your photos at the end of the night. Like, what are you going to get back out of it?
Perfect.
That's my feeling.
So episode 157 coming to a close. Thanks for tuning in. As always, Mastering Mitzvahs. If you have a topic to talk about, any questions, hit us up. Dylan, Mike, everything at XE Events or masteringmitzvahs.com. We'll see you soon.